Hey guys, Ron here, and a few years ago I made a video detailing 15 mistakes I've made in my videos, whether it be giving you wrong information about a Pokemon or not fully grasping a Pokemon's lore or origin. I think a big part of my growth as a human being is owning up to my mistakes and continuously realizing that I can be better. I'm not gonna highlight any mistakes I made while reading the script, like when I called Rayquaza Groudon. I know the name of my favorite legendary Pokemon, guys. Sometimes I know a thing but didn't pay attention. That's why these 20 facts are split into 4 categories. 1. Facts I was wrong about. 2. Facts I knew but forgot about. 3. Facts I knew and purposely left out but regret doing so. And 4. Information I changed my mind about once I gained a new perspective. To be fair, mistakes are happening less often now that I make less fact videos, and a lot of my videos are about creating new Pokemon of my own, but things slip through the cracks, so let's start with the first category, facts I was straight up wrong about. Number 1. My super recent video, Pokemon You Probably Don't Understand, was the first fact video on this channel in a long time, so I made sure to fill it with tons of information. When your video has 100 facts, you end up with a mistake or two. One of the most embarrassing mistakes in this video is that I said Phalanx is based on the Phalanx formation of ancient Rome, and that Phalanx is wearing Roman attire. That's completely wrong. The Phalanx formation was Greek, and Phalanx is wearing Spartan armor. But why is this so embarrassing? Because I took an entire Greek and Rome class in college, which I aced, and watched the movie 300 multiple times. I'm very aware of the Phalanx origin, and I can't for the life of me understand why I messed that one up. Number 2. In my video, Worst Pokemon of Each Type, I stated how Trash Cloak Wormadam is the worst Steel-type Pokemon. Now that's not the mistake, I still believe that. My reasoning was the problem. I said that there was no reason for the Trash Cloak Wormadam to be pink and or Steel-type. Now, let me say, I was aware at the time that the most common theory as to why Wormadam's pink is because it's covered in fiberglass insulation, but I thought that since glass Pokemon are rock types like Nihilego, that fiberglass may not have been the actual origin for its design. But what I didn't realize is that when laid out properly, fiberglass is super strong, like stronger than some metals, and in Pokemon, if their body or body part is as strong as steel, it is considered a steel type. Number 3. In both my ranking Sword and Shield Pokemon video, as well as ranking starters video, I refer to Drizzile as Sizzile. Why? Because we knew about Drizzile months before it was even announced because of the Affleck leak. The leak on 4chan that correctly described a ton of Sword and Shield info, like Dynamaxing, the wild area, the gym leaders, and the starter evolutions, but for some reason, instead of Drizzile, the Pokemon that was described was called Sizzile, and that name just stuck without me even noticing. Drizzile is obviously its name, but for a month after Sword and Shield was released, I still called this dude Sizzile. Number 4. In my Worst Pokemon of Each Type video, I said how Alolan Muk shouldn't be a dark type since it stinks, or it smells, not that it's literally bad, just like Cantonian Muk, and is actually friendlier. The problem is that Alolan Muk actually doesn't smell at all since those crystals contain the toxins and stench, and while it's friendly, it actually will be destructive when hungry, and those crystals are far more lethal than the poison of Cantonian Muk. The fact that it doesn't have a foul stench anymore went over my head because while I did make sure to look at the Pokedex entries, this information is either in the game or the official Sun and Moon website, not the Dex. Number 5. In my top 20 Pokemon Sword and Shield music themes video, I kinda insinuated that Piers knew about how Team Yell was obstructing gym challengers and causing a ruckus in the name of Marnie. That doesn't seem to be the case. While it's true that he formed Team Yell as a way to cheer his sister Marnie on her journey, the grunts themselves were the ones who thought it was a good idea to cause a bit of trouble. Number 6. In my second video explaining why a few Pokemon don't evolve, I talked about how Carbink have no natural predators. I was wrong. The Pokedex is very explicit about how Carbink are hunted by Gabite and Sableye. To be fair, Carbink is super effective against both of these Pokemon, so I'm sure it puts up a fight. Number 7. One of the last proper top 10s I made was over a year ago, and that was the top 10 most important Pokemon. In that video, I said that Caterpie and Weedle were version exclusive, so that we would be able to learn how to trade early on. That ain't the case, boss. You can find both of them in both games. It's just that the probability is way higher for one of them. Number 8. In my recent video, What is the Perfect Pokemon?, I made a chart that contained all the various aspects people use to judge Pokemon and inputted the data for more than 100 popular Pokemon in order to determine which Pokemon has the best balance of all the factors that make a great Pokemon. One of these factors was competitive. I didn't want it to be there, but a lot of people think a Pokemon's battle prowess must be solid for a specific Pokemon to be considered good. Problem is, I don't know anything about competitive Pokemon relative to other competitive players. In order to determine the ranking, I used Smogon tiers instead of VGC, and combined the data so that a Pokemon's score in the competitive category wasn't based on the current meta, but its performance throughout the last few generations. This ended up bringing down the score of Pokemon who are actually really good in Gen 8's competitive scene, like Lapras. There were many more Pokemon I regretted giving low scores in this category, but ultimately the meta is always changing, so it's a difficult score to determine. Number 9. In various reaction videos to trailers and reveals, I've given out the wrong information about upcoming games. To be fair, those aren't fact videos and just speculation, but I never corrected them, like when I said that Let's Go were sequels to Gen 1 instead of remakes of Yellow. I also said that Regidrago was Dark-type, but I'm not the only one to come up with such nonsense. Toby! The next few entries will be about facts that I actually did 100% know, just simply forgot about, and therefore led me to put out a few incorrect statements. Number 10. In my video ranking the Sword and Shield Pokemon, I stated how I thought Dragapult was incredibly unique. Obviously its origin and design are original, but I thought its typing was original as well. I said it was the only Ghost Dragon type in the entire franchise. Of course we all know that is wrong, including myself. Of course you can't spell wrong without Ron. I simply forgot that this Satan Centipede exists, although to be fair, I'm sure we'd all want to forget any Satan Centipedes that we have encountered. Number 11. In my Pokemon Type Swap video, I mentioned how if a Wailord was to live on land, it would die since it would be unable to support its weight. This is a pretty wrong assumption since Wailord is the float whale Pokemon. It's incredibly light for its size. But the thing is, I knew that. I love Wailord and I've used one multiple times. I simply said what I said because I was trying to make a point about real-world whales and how the biggest animals are found in the water because it's a much easier environment for heavy animals to thrive in. I even made my type swapped Wailord slower because it's denser, so I simply forgot. Number 12. In my video, Which Region Has the Worst Pokemon of Each Type, I described which generation introduced the least impressive assortment of Pokemon for each type. You'd think Fire would go to Sinnoh, but the 3 that it introduced were pretty good. While the entry didn't go to Galar either, since I thought Centiskorch and Colossal are fine Pokemon, I somehow forgot about Cinderace. I said there were 2 fire types in Galar when there are 3 families. I obviously know of the existence of Scorbunny, Raboot, and Cinderace. In fact, I love this family and I adore Cinderace's personality and animation in these games, but it fell through the cracks. Number 13. In my video titled, Why Don't These Pokemon Evolve?, I theorized that Lapras doesn't evolve because it's super smart, knows how to interact with humans, and when to hide, but kinda forgot about the fact that they're less hiding and more driven to the brink of extinction due to overhunting. But I knew this. I 100% remembered the Pokedex entry in Pokemon Moon stating how Lapras is now a protected species and that there is an abundance of them. I left it out of this video but ended up remembering the fact in another video I was making at the exact same time, so it's all good. The next category is for the Pokemon facts I knew about and didn't forget but chose to leave out and now regret doing so. Number 14. Throughout my many videos, I have talked about Aromatisse. While it's my least favorite Pokemon in terms of execution, I think its origins are really consistent. I constantly mention how it's based on flamenco, can-can dancers, perfume bottles, and has Plague Doctor aesthetic and themes, but I rarely mention the most explicit part of its design, the masquerade elements. Sure, considering it's a healer and deals with scents, it's safe to say that its mask could be based on Plague Doctors, but it's 100% mostly inspired by a masquerade mask, and even has the feathers of one. Masquerade balls were first held in France, and Aromatisse is a perfect amalgamation of a specific part of French history. I knew this, but I never really talked about it because the most interesting parts of this Pokemon relate to the Plague Doctor theories. Number 15. In my video, The Origin of Pokemon Memes 6, I described all the memes that came out of 2019, starting with the Furret Walk. I talked about the channel that started the phenomenon Narpy and all the examples of this meme, but I never talked about Anoith. Not because I didn't know of this channel, but because I didn't think it was necessary at the time. It's a channel that rose to fame for posting a plethora of Furret Walk content, probably the channel with the most Furret Walk content, but since they started posting such videos a few months after the trend started, I thought it wasn't significant, but Anoith was a big reason this meme became as popular as it did. Number 16. In a lot of videos, I've talked about Electabuzz' origin, the Oni, and Jinx's origin, the Yamauba or Yamamba, but never went in depth about Magmar's full origin. I only focused on the blue-footed booby when talking about Magmar's origin. It's a partial inspiration, sure, but the biggest inspiration was definitely the Karura, a fire-breathing bird-human creature. It's a partial inspiration for Blaziken as well, but it's definitely significant to mention it with Magmar's origin because it cements it as part of this trio, all inspired by Japanese monsters. I guess I just thought boobies were a more interesting topic than man-birds. Number 17. In Amazing Pokemon Designs you may have not noticed, I talked about how Volcarona's 6 wings may have been a reference to the 6 wings of the fiery angels Seraphim, but that's not a confirmed origin. I left out how it has been stated by Game Freak that the spots on its wings are supposed to resemble sunspots. This Pokemon replaced the sun during times of darkness, for crying out loud. The last 3 entries are part of a category of mistakes that I didn't fully understand and gained a new perspective once I learned more. Number 18. Anytime I talked about Slurpuff in the past, I would mention how I thought it was silly how such a Pokemon would naturally exist. Why would a dog look like a dessert? But then I kinda remembered how real-life dogs have been bred to look pretty unnatural. There are tons of breeds that were made to have features that only benefit humans but actually harm them in the long run. So there was definitely some dude that just wanted a meringue dog, and so he made one. Number 19. In a video I made 2 years ago titled 10 Pokemon That I Don't Understand, I included Pokemon who don't visibly have ears like Houndoom. It was definitely a dumb move because I'm not that stupid. I can understand that they may not have ear flaps but definitely have ear holes under the fur or feathers. That's not a tough concept to grasp. I simply wanted people to laugh at Houndoom because they realized it has no ears, but it definitely does, just not skin around it. And finally, number 20. Not so much a fact, but a regret in terms of a conclusion I made in my video about which region has the best Pokemon of each type. I gave Hoenn the win for ground. This was mostly due to the fact that Groudon, Flygon, and Swampert heavily boosted the score, but after further deliberation, I think Sinnoh deserves that title. It's just a better balance of great ground types. A few of the Hoennian ground types are better than most of these Sinnoh groundlings, but in general, Sinnoh's ground types are a solid bunch. And you guys are a solid bunch as well, so leave a like if you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and check the description for the music I used, t-shirts I made for you guys, my Patreon, or click the join button to become a member and get awesome rewards like seeing my videos days early, Pokemon icons near your comments, discounts on merch, access to our Discord, etc. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!